Hello on this very rainy day in July, at least in Florida it is. Welcome
It's hot and
to
sunny up here.
It's Sunny by You. Welcome to There's No Crying in Crochet podcast. I am hosting this week. I'm Biz from Busy Crochet, and this is Debbie from Madam Stitch. I live in Florida. She lives in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Okay. For some reason, I wanted to say New Hampshire, and I knew that was wrong.
No,
Where did
not
that
that
even
far
come
north.
from? But today, let's go ahead and get rid of that permanent comment that keeps coming up, first of all. And second of all, if you are watching this on YouTube today, make sure that you like and subscribe to both the Madam Stitch channel and the Busy Crochet channel because we both have available for you different tutorials and stitch helpers and things of that nature and pattern help of our own. So make sure you follow both so that you can get all the info. Plus, we come here every single Friday at 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern for the There's No Crying in Crochet podcast. And let's see, you want to make sure that you like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. If you are following on StreamYard or you're commenting on Facebook, make sure that you give them permission so that we can see who you are. Otherwise, you just show up as Facebook user in the chat and please engage with us today because we're going to be having a fun little topic that we all love. So Debbie, tell me what's up this week. What have you been doing?
Oh gosh, it's just kind of the same old, same old. Not anything special going on. It finally turned hot here, so we're just kind of hunkering down, and I've been doing a lot of crochet and
Mhm.
relaxing in the evening, and that's about it.
That's
What about
great. That's
you?
a great way to live. We have been doing the Husky drama. I don't, for anybody who's been following along, we are our daughter's almost 1 year old Husky horse is living with us currently because she's not able to have animals at her apartment. And she's the sweetest thing, but we are going through a fresh phase of drama. If you have a husky or you've ever heard of huskies, they are 100% drama, 365, 24/7. So, um, it's been a couple of early mornings, like 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock. All of a sudden, she needs to go for a walk or whatever it is. But it would be
Oh,
one thing if she just was like, "Oh, whine, whine, whine," but no, she howls, she sings, and she ohs. So at 3 o'clock in the morning, you just do whatever she wants you to do to get her to shut up. So that's been
I
my
know
week.
it's not funny. I've been there, done that, but I don't have a husky. I
Yeah,
have a mini Aussie doodle, but I know what it's like. You get
yeah.
woken up in the middle of the night and you go, "Just shut up. I love you, but please."
Well,
Uh,
I mean, she goes for a really long walk right before bed so that and for when she first started staying with us, she was sleeping until 6 o'clock in the morning. Like there was zero happening. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what happened, but now we are just in this phase where we have our nights and days mixed around or something. I don't know. But I'm just doing a lot of praying to get through this phase, this current phase. So other
well, I
than
hope
that,
that face gets broken soon, my friend,
me
because it's
too.
a pain in the rear.
But it's been uberty dooberty hot here. It's either humid or it's raining. And so right now we're dealing with raining. It's very stormy here the last couple days. And that's what's happening in Florida right now. Okay. So this week's topic, if you'd like to share, Miss Debbie.
Oh my gosh. This is one that I hear all the time, and we all struggle with this at some point,
Mhm,
right? Um, how do you choose the perfect hook for you? It's
mhm,
not just about picking up a pencil. In fact, you think about pencils, I have one that I use all the time,
mhm.
because it fits in my hand and just feels like a second glove.
Yeah.
So it's super important to find the right hook for you. And without spending a gajillion dollars, on this hook and that, we want to give you the 411 on how to find the perfect one for you.
Mhm. And we both use opposite style hooks, so we're
We
both going to
do.
talk from each side of the hook topic.
Yes.
Alrighty. So let's go ahead and start talking about them. What is the anatomy of a crochet hook?
Well, funny you should ask. Um, we think the hook is just the hook and the handle, but there are different parts to it that can have a really big impact on how you crochet and
Mhm,
how you hold your hook
mhm,
and how you maintain a healthy grip on that hook. So I'm going
mhm,
to put mine up here just so you can see, and forgive me for switching around here. There we go. I'm going to get close. So the first part is, let's put it over here where you can see it, is the head. So that's actually the hook part, the
yeah.
head.
Mhm.
And the hook part has two styles. Two styles. And this is where Biz and I greatly differ. I use an inline. So let me get it closer to the camera and get it in a place where you can see it. Inline means that it's in line with the rest of the hook. And you'll notice that it has a very sharp, not sharp in that it's going to hurt you, kind of, but it's a very angular hook, right? So everything is kind of straight lined up there.
Mhm,
What Biz has is called tapered, and
mhm.
it has very curvy lines. It's a very curvaceous girl, isn't it?
It has a little bit of flair on the end. Yeah.
Little bit of flair, and it's not in line. It actually curves a little bit, just a teeny bit out from the
Mhm.
next part of the hook. Um, I find a tapered to be very difficult to work with because, first of all, I didn't learn on one.
Mhm.
Um, Second of all, for me, the yarn just keeps slipping off of it. I need that, that angular style. There we go. The angular style to grab the yarn and
Uh-huh.
keep it while I'm completing a stitch. But that's just how I learned.
And see, that's the funny thing because it's the exact same reason why I don't use the inline is because it slides off constantly. I'm having to go back and
Really?
grab it. Yes, because it is so
Oh,
tapered, because it is so inline. I need that little bit of extra oomph at the end to just grab. I mean, this was the one I learned on, but so it kind of, I guess it does kind of go back to whatever we learned to use in the
yeah,
beginning. It is what we tend to be most comfortable with going forward. But, I did try to use the Susan Bates head, because I was like, well, what's the big deal? It's a crochet hook's a crochet hook, right? No, it's not, because I kept dropping, everything I was
yep,
trying to pull through. And so I need that little bit of extra oomph on the bum.
yeah. Right. All right. So now let me go back to my handy dandy here. This one is a little bit more difficult to see. I'm going to hold it up like this. There we go. Okay.
She's got her own backdrop there, the
Oh,
white hair.
all right, there we
There you
go.
go.
All right,
Perfect.
so closer to the camera. So we just talked about the head.
Yes.
This part underneath that tapers out to the full width or circumference of your hook is the throat.
The
So
throat.
you've got the
Okay.
head and the throat.
Mhm.
Throat. The next part before you get to the grip is called the shank, and
Mhm.
this is where we do all of our stitching. So we grab the
Mhm.
yarn with the hook and the head,
Mhm.
but we do all of our yarn overs and pulling
Mhm.
through and all of that
Kind of where
stuff
we
with the
hold our
shaft.
stitches. Yeah.
Mhm. All right. So most crochet hooks, I think, have a standard distance there. Some of them will have a slightly shorter. So if you
Yeah.
get something with a handle on it, you might get a slightly shorter shaft, and that can affect the way that you pick up your stitches.
Mhm.
So that's a consideration, is that shaft needs to be a
Mhm.
certain length. I find with crochet hooks that have handles on them,
Mhm.
have shafts that are too short, and I keep bumping into that as I'm working my stitches because I tend to use the entire length of the shaft.
Yeah. See,
Hmm.
I've gotten very used to using these because this is my preferred hook,
Hmm.
but like this one, they put the handle
That's got a longer shaft.
way down
Yep.
on it. So
There you
yeah,
go.
it just depends on whether it's because you can get the ones that have a handle on them with a longer shaft too.
Right. All right, the next part is we grip. You either have a knife grip, like you're cutting something, or you have a pencil grip, right? Like you're writing with a pencil. I do a knife grip, which
Yeah, this is
means,
nice.
yeah, knife. So that means that I need
Me too.
my thumb rest, which if you look at it sideways, it gets skinny right there. And that's where your thumb goes, right? Not
Yep.
all hooks have that. Let me show you this one. Did I put my, oh, here it is. This is a ginormous Leica hook. Notice there is no thumb rest.
This is
And I
just a
love these
regular
hooks, but I
bamboo.
can't use them mainly because the hook keeps rolling around in my hand.
There's nothing to
So,
grab onto.
right. So every time I try to grab a stitch, it
Mhm.
rolls and drops the yarn. So I have
And
to go.
I'm sorry, I was gonna say like the wood one that you have, or the Leica, and like the bamboo, they also tend to have that inline head, and I can't use them because they're not the taper.
Interestingly, this bamboo one, I don't know if you can see it. It's little, but
Mhm.
it actually has a thumb. See that? It has a thumb
Ooh,
rest
look
on
at
the
that.
front. So that, and it's inline. This is my jam right here. Now, we'll
I
talk
can
about
use
materials in a moment, but I don't use this one because it's too light. I like
Mm,
the heft
okay.
of a metal, but it does have, oh, dang, I'll get this right someday. It does have a thumb rest. Okay, we put that one back.
Nice.
All right, so we've got that. That's called the grip. The thumb
Mhm,
rest is called the grip. And the last part of it is the handle, right?
mhm,
So that's just where you put the rest of your hand.
mhm,
And some of them are shorter
mhm.
than others. This one is fairly short. This one is fairly long.
Between these
Right.
two,
Ah,
there's
yes. Oh, yeah. Look at
quite a
that.
di
So that's the anatomy. If you want to sound really smart in a crochet circle, it's the head, throat, shank,
shank,
grip, and
grip,
handle.
and handle, okay. It just
Okay.
depends on how bougie you wanna sound in your stitch image.
Right? So intelligent. So now, Biz,
Alright,
we're going to talk about what?
it's a crochet hook made out of. So there
Oh,
are a
gosh.
lot of different, there's actually
So
a
many
lot of
different
different
things.
materials
Hmm.
that hooks are, made available in. And we've actually covered a few of them in our description of the anatomy of the crochet hook, but there's wood and bamboo. So like you've got your Leica and your
I've got my
bamboo. I
Leica.
don't have any fancy wood ones. I just have the bamboo ones, which are still all in their plastic wrappers because I don't like them. I've got like a whole set of them I don't even use. They just sit here in their little twisty turny thing.
You know what? These Leica ones are great. They're if you're using wood or bamboo, I highly recommend you get something that has a very polished and
Yeah.
smooth surface because I actually have gotten some cheap bamboo in the past and they've had splinters, which
And I know
catches
this
on the yarn.
this is a different subject, but even the I find that the bamboo knitting needles, I love using them, but they have a tendency to split. So that is
Mm,
something with use of a bamboo or a wood. As you use it, they do begin to dry out because yarn
yeah,
sucks moisture out of everything.
it does. And your
And you
hands.
may have
So
to replace them a little bit more often than maybe a metal
I
or a
think
plastic.
this one, the Leica, I think this one is treated in a way that it won't succumb to that sort of thing. You notice this one has the sizes on the bottom.
Yes.
They're gorgeous. They
Mhm.
come in. I'm not a salesperson for them, and because they don't have the grip, I don't use them. but they come in this beautiful
Oh, how
case,
nice.
right?
Mhm.
And they come in different colors. I happened to get
Oh,
the grape. I think they come in different colors. They're really gorgeous.
yeah.
So, anyway, I don't use bamboo or wood for those reasons.
I just
Um,
I'm such a okay, have you ever heard or been on a dairy farm? Have you ever been on a dairy farm or dealt with cows before?
Not really.
Okay, so I'm just gonna tell a little story because it's how I see myself. Cows, when they are milking cows, they go into a stanchion, and so
Mhm.
they all have their place. However, when a cow is being dried, and then they're going to freshen her so that they can breed her later, so that she can start milking again, she gets removed from that cycle, that milk house cycle. So she'll be put in a different stanchion. Okay. But until they learn their new stanchion, they keep trying to go into their old stanchion. I am an old milking cow. I use the same thing all the time. I keep going to the same stanchion. I mean, like, it's so hard for me to change what
Mm.
I use because I get so comfortable where I'm at.
Well, I think you and I are both in the same stanchion, my friend, because it's Susan Bates or nothing.
I
We've got a
know.
comment, Biz.
Oh, we
I'm gonna put it
do.
up here. I don't know if I can display it. You have to display it. But Rachel says, "What did you think of the Brittany Birch or walnut hooks? Have you ever used those?"
I have never honestly even heard of them. I'm terrible. Like, I never
Ooh,
keep up with trends.
Rachel should put something in the comments about these hooks.
Yes, tell us where we can find them so we can look them up,
Yeah.
but I've never had the chance to use them, I'm gonna be
Mm-mm,
completely honest.
mm-mm. All right. While we're waiting for that, what is our next one?
Yes.
Oh, these are my favorite.
Oh,
Metal.
yep, metal and steel. These are Debbie's jam.
This is mine, Susan Bates.
This is
And
a
boy,
boy.
uh, boy is another one, another metal. I don't think I have. Wait, I do. Oh, here it is. And the reason I don't use the boy, this one, is because guess what? It's tapered. See that?
It's mine. It's my hook.
It's
I'm a boy
your
girl.
metal hook. It's your metal hook.
My metal.
Rachel says, I don't know if they're still sold. So she doesn't know where they might be,
Well, we'll
where
have to
we
look
might
them up.
get those. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
have
they
to
might
look
even
those up
have.
and see what they're all about.
Yeah. All right. Steel hooks, by the way, Biz, are
Mhm.
generally used for crochet thread
Thread,
for the
yes.
little teeny
And you
guys.
know
And I don't
what?
think I have one.
Oh my god, I have actually hang on just a second. This isn't gonna be pretty. I'm gonna get up and go over here. Okay,
Yeah, I
so
don't use those for
I
doilies and stuff.
inherited these from one of the grandmas when they passed, and it's their collection
Mm-hmm.
of look at how tiny that little head
They are
is.
tiny, tiny.
I mean, this one, I literally can't even see the head on it.
I know.
Hang on,
And
hang
when
on.
our grandmas were crocheting, they were making doilies. They
I
weren't
know,
making big sweaters and
I can't even
things
see
like
it.
that. They were making doilies, and that's what they used.
I mean, I literally can't even see the head. So people who micro crochet also use these. I am
Mhm.
definitely never, ever, ever going to be a micro crocheter or a doily maker because
No,
I'm sorry, this is about as small as the head gets for me. I
I can
just
do a C or a D, but that not for long. So,
yeah, same
mm,
here. I really kind of
anyway.
avoid those patterns as much as I possibly can. But yeah. Wait, I
All
think
right,
that
so
one's
that's metal
actually
and steel. Ooh, did you find
it
a
is.
plastic one?
I did. I have a plastic one.
There's a plastic one. I somewhere around here I have
Oh,
clear plastic, but plastic ones are a
so
great,
I'm not sure if
inexpensive
this is plastic or
alternative.
ivory.
Oh, wow.
I think it might be
Usually
plastic.
the ah,
I don't
I
know.
steer away from plastic just because they're kind of on the cheap side and they don't work quite as well. But if you're looking for an inexpensive alternative,
Mhm.
and just want to grab a bunch of them,
Yeah.
and it's the kind of
The
thing
only
that
ones
if
I
you
have in
lose
plastic are
them,
the really big
yeah,
ones.
there you go. Those guys. Yep. Hmm. Yep.
And they all have the wrong head, so I never use them.
We could
I
write a
literally
whole
only bring these out when I'm absolutely desperate and I have to.
we could write a whole blog post on our collection of crochet hooks
We could.
and what we don't use, right?
Why don't I use this?
What is our next material, Ms.
Okay, next
Biz?
material is resins. And you
Yes.
have those. I don't
So,
have any resin at
yeah,
all.
I went okay, so this is A, it's like the leak, it's not an advertisement, and it's
Mhm.
not B, a diss. It's just not the hook I like to use. These are super popular furls.
Mhm.
They have a bunch of different styles. They've got um,
Mhm.
metal heads and shafts with um, padded um, padded handles, but their claim to fame is this fat handle that's supposed to
Ergonomic.
be easier to grip, right? But
Mhm.
again, it doesn't have a grip. It's all rounded. So I find that when I'm using it, my hand actually gets tired from
Oh,
gripping the bigger hook. I
interesting.
actually, yeah, I don't know why, but when I'm working with this guy, I know exactly how much to grip it.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
these are absolutely gorgeous
They are,
hooks,
and
and
there's a lot of people who swear by them. So, I mean,
yeah, here's
if that's
another
a you
one,
hook, yay you.
and it's inline. It's actually a combination of tapered and inline because it has a very angular head, but it
Mhm.
has a very smooth tapered
Okay.
to the bulge. So it's kind of a combination of the two, at
Sure.
least for the resin ones. Yeah,
Cool.
there's
Alrighty, and then we've
pearls.
got clay handles, which I do happen to have
Ooh,
a small collection of these. I only could find the one. This was somebody that I commissioned to make handles with my actual business name on it,
oh, that's
and then it has a
cool.
little bee on it. Wait, is it upside? I don't know what's upside down. Oh,
I
crap.
see the
I threw
bee.
it. Yeah, and she stamped. Maybe not. Okay, so some of them she stamped the actual size into the handle at the tip. And this one fits. It's nice. I can still use the grip. I
Yep.
did use these. I have used them before, but I really prefer my handled clover. Um they are clover. Yeah, the clover hooks because these don't slip in my hands at all. And that's what I've found helps me the most. I know a lot of the ones like furls, and anytime that you have like a handle on here, or if you put a grip on your own, because you can find grips that you can slide on here
Mhm,
for comfort. Because I find that I don't use these because this little part here digs into the palm of my hands. So
mhm.
that's why I switched over to this. And I've gotten so used to it, like it just pushes in, but it never digs.
Yeah,
And so even though it's got that shorter, I've just adjusted my crocheting to this hook. And but this has got that same, I can push on it, it doesn't move. I love this particular hook. But I don't mind these. There's a couple of people that I follow on Instagram that I have just been slobbering over their custom hooks that they make because they're so cute. And
and some are
really like,
gorgeous.
yes, but they are an investment and they're made really well. They're worth the money, but it just hasn't been in my pocketbook lately. So um yeah, I think that handmade hooks have really come a long way, and there are a lot of people out there who are actually making handles, custom
But
handles.
that goes back to the point that we're trying to find the perfect hook for us, right? And
Right.
so
Right.
you wanna these are all the materials that everything is made of, and the pros and cons or how it affects your crochet.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard that
Did
thunder.
you hear that one?
Oh,
Yeah.
I heard that. Oh my goodness. But I just don't wanna be tempted by all the shiny new objects, which is
Yeah,
so hard when
it
you go
is.
on Instagram or on Etsy. If you go into
Mhm,
an Etsy search, you find all of these beautiful crochet hooks. This is the
mhm.
one that I need to stick with because it's the one that gets me the result I need.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we've been kind of talking about the hook extras as we've been going along, which is like
mhm,
the padding on the shaft, which would be something like this. The ergonomic, which would be your
right?
furls.
I think the furls, right? Yep,
Yeah, that's considered an ergonomic hook. And I think that there's a lot of people who are making clay ones or resin ones that have an ergonomic feel to them where they're a little bit more rounded to help with arthritis and help, with to prevent. Now, the only way to really prevent carpal issues is to not crochet because it's a repetitive action
right.
syndrome. But that's just not going to happen. I've already had surgery on this arm. I should have it on this arm, but you know what?
Oh,
Yeah. So, but I was also a receptionist and an admin assistant. So my hands are always like this typing. So it
mm,
goes way beyond crochet for me. But people who do deal with that kind of stuff do like require things that have a little bit
right,
more push to the tush. So,
right. That's good.
um,
Wait, I'm gonna put that in the notes. Push to the tush. That's
but we
awesome. Okay.
we had also talked about when we were talking a couple of podcasts ago, we were talking about working with dark yarn and stuff.
Mhm.
Another um product that is out there is the lighted hook, which comes in a variety of also with the when we're talking about the shaft and the head and all of that stuff. You can get those on Amazon quite easily where they come in a whole set with a little recharger and all of that stuff. But there are the different shaft and head sizes. So you're going to want to watch what you're getting when you're looking to
Right.
maybe invest in something like that.
Exactly. Yeah. All
So,
right.
what are the advantages of choosing the perfect hook?
Well, I would say one of the biggest advantages is you can get some speed on in your crochet. I mean,
Mhm.
when you finally find the perfect hook, for me, it means I can create a rhythm as I crochet, and I
Mhm.
don't have to worry about constantly stopping and adjusting something. Crochet for me is mindful. I've said that almost every broadcast. And even though it's a business, it needs to be relaxing and mindful to me, or I just lose interest pretty quickly, and it's
Absolutely.
no longer a relaxing activity. So my hook has to help me with that. And so
Yeah.
that's why I choose the hook I do, is because I could that's my crochet style, is just getting a rhythm going,
Yeah.
and I can look up and I don't have to be tied to the pattern or the
Mhm.
piece. I can just go with the flow.
I like the rhythm that you talked about because that is a big part of our crochet I wanna say aesthetic, but I don't think that that's the right word, but, like, the whole vibe, Like, when we're getting into it, and like you said, it has to be, a kind of a meditative thing, I think.
Yeah.
People use crochet as therapy, but one other thing too is that when you are choosing and when you find the perfect hook, you also deal with less fatigue in your
Mhm.
arms. You
Right.
deal with less, pain and that kind of stuff. So it behooves you to try something different if you find that you have pain or you have discomfort or you're just not enjoying what you're doing. Invest in a different hook. I know that it seems like hooks can be kind of pricey, and they can be depending on what you get. These usually run anywhere between $8 and $10 a hook. The one thing though is that I love my clover hooks, and these were actually my first clover hooks were actually given to me by someone, and I probably would have never made that purchase on my own. So sometimes you can ask for it for a Christmas gift or something like that just to try something new. Um, but they do not wear out. I have got the same clover hooks that I've been using for just ever and ever. But that's kind of like the rest of our hooks too, right?
Mhm.
Like they're an
Right,
investment, but you're going to use them forever.
right, unless you lose them in the couch like many people
Well,
do. I do not, but, because to me, my crochet hook is like a bullion of gold.
yeah.
I guard it with I'm not kidding you. It's like,
Yeah.
"Where's my hook?"
Hmm.
I actually okay, funny story, and then I wanna make a point. I take my crochet with me in the car, and,
Uh-huh.
I pick up my grandkids twice a week, parent pickup, so that's a perfect opportunity for me to crochet. My favorite hook is a size H because I do a lot of DK and worsted weight,
Hmm.
and I have a quite a little bevy of size H Susan Bates, but I'm sitting in the car crocheting parent pickup, and it drops down between the seat and somewhere.
Oh
Now, the
no.
way my CRV is built, there's no way to be able to see underneath the seat. You can put your hand down there until you are blue in the face and so my CRV has a size H hook in it somewhere, never to be found,
Oh my
ever.
gosh.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I have a
hilarious.
CRV too, and I can totally see what you're saying. Where like if it's gone, it's gone. It's just bye.
And that's why I guard it like a
Mhm.
bullion block of gold.
Mhm.
What I was going to say before I got sidetracked was, if you're having difficulty with the hook that you're using and you know you need to find something else,
Uh-huh.
don't just willy-nilly go out there and try something new. You actually have the tools, the
Yes.
knowledge to make a more informed choice by knowing what the anatomy of your crochet hook is and
Yeah.
what you're experiencing problems with. So, if you're experiencing pain in your hand,
Mhm.
like Biz said,
Yeah.
gripping, you've got that spot on your hand where you're gripping, you know
Mhm.
that you need padding in the handle.
Mhm.
If the yarn is constantly slipping and you've
Mhm.
got an inline hook or head, then
Mhm.
you need to try a tapered
Try the
head,
taper. Mhm.
right? If you're constantly butting up against the grip, then you need something with a longer shaft.
A
So there are
longer.
lots of
Mhm.
different ways to make a more informed choice
Yep.
about what that next try should be rather than just, "Oh, that looks good. Let me try
Yeah.
that." And then,
Or what's the
50,
new
$100
trendy?
later.
Yes.
Yes, well, we all need the trendy stuff. I mean, who doesn't want to be out crocheting and have that fabulous hook, right? That
Yes.
what is that? But you know
Your
what? My
next
crochet's not.
Instagram post.
Yeah. I use those for flat lays. I don't crochet with them. They look great in photos.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Oh, well, let's see.
I
What
mean,
is next?
uh, we're just being real here. Just being
Well,
real.
always. I mean,
Well, actually, you just covered how to choose the right one for you. Take the information that you have that well, I mean, the what we've got for notes is it says many times your favorite hook will be the one that you learn with. And that's very true. We talked about that at the very beginning of this episode.
yeah,
I
yep,
learned on a boy hook, you learned on a Susan Bates.
I
They
did.
are two different heads. You can try other ones. I mean, you may have a friend who has one that they can just lend you just so you can see
Yeah,
if you like it or not. You know, a lot of times we have crochet friends that use things that we're interested in, and maybe they'll lend it to you instead of, going out and wasting money that way too. But use the information that you've been given. Um, and then the other one is try various hooks and styles to find the one that you feels most comfortable and that's how you choose the right one for you.
yeah, and I like your idea of borrowing rather than
Mhm,
buying. If you know someone who crochets and has a collection of crochet hooks,
mhm.
there's no reason other than my size H Susan Bates, which I will lend to
Yeah,
no one.
yeah.
You
Well,
can
there are certain ones
probably
I just don't lend. I will literally
right?
tell people, "Look, I will buy you one of those. I can't give you this one. I just can't.
This is not going anywhere.
This is not leaving my house."
No, in fact, when we get off the podcast, I'm going to go pick up a G and work on my granny stripes. So there
Super
you go.
funny. Oh my
I
gosh.
know.
Yeah, my favorite sizes are, a number 7, which is a 4.5, which used to be a G hook. But now G is either 4.0 millimeter or 4.5 millimeter, or it's the number 7 hook, which, okay, so I didn't know there was such a thing until,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, 6 years ago. But it's my favorite hook now. That's the one I use constantly. And F, the number 7 and
Uh,
F.
I suspect that's because of all the amigurumi you do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
because you need
when
a
I
tighter
went,
hook for that, a smaller
yeah, when
hook
I
for that.
started using DK yarn a lot, I went down to an F. So, and that's what
Yeah,
I
I
use
use
for
G
sometimes.
with, a 4 millimeter with
Okay.
DK because I do a lot of in DK weight, I do a lot of either indie dyed yarns
Mhm.
or, like, Style Craft or,
Mhm.
um, those brands. Paint Box actually has a really good DK, and it
They
works
do.
really well with the G.
They do.
Yeah, so I tend to go up in a hook size, you tend to go down, and I had the
Yeah.
feeling that's the style of crochet that we both do.
And I have a, yeah, you seem to have a little bit, I wanna say breathier, looser, not loose, but,
Ooh,
like,
I
there's
like
just
that breathy, I'm
it's
writing that down.
kind of
Breathy.
a yeah, there's, like, air in your
Well,
crochet.
it's
Mine
not
all tends to be
wispy.
very, very tight.
I wonder if that's our personality. I don't know.
It could be.
Are you a tense person, Biz? I don't think so. No,
I'm
no.
fun. We're just gonna call me fun.
You're just fun, and
Lots of
I
fun.
guess I'm breathy. I'm gonna take that
Oh
and
my
work with it
gosh,
and
it's so funny.
see what happens there. I think we covered it, didn't we? That was great.
Yes,
So,
I think we
um,
did.
along with, I think now that you know the anatomy of a crochet hook, you have a lot of really important knowledge that you can
Mhm.
use to help you find the perfect hook for you. I think
Absolutely.
that's the most important nugget that we can share with you today.
Mhm. Absolutely. Alrighty. So, with that having been said, what have you been watching this week?
Well, baseball was on a break because of the All-Star break, so
Yay!
not that I don't like watching baseball because the Phillies are really just a cool team, but
Yeah.
um,
And don't they have that really fun mascot?
oh, the Fanatic, the big
Yeah.
green monster. Yeah, I don't know what's up with Philadelphia, sports mascots. The hockey team has Gritty that's just this big orange piece of fur. It's
Oh my,
gross. And the Phillies AAA team here in the Lehigh Valley are the Iron Pigs.
oh
I
my
mean,
god.
so now this is really cute. So the guy mascot is Fifi because Fe is the chemical symbol for iron, and his cohort in crime female is Ferris. And it's because Bethlehem was a steel town. So I don't know if you knew Bethlehem Steel was one of the biggest steel companies in the entire world,
I feel like
which has
they're
since shut
named
down.
backwards.
Bethlehem Steel, Steel Bethlehem. What?
No, I feel like
No?
Ferris should be a boy and Fifi should be the girl.
Oh, you're right. Okay, you're right. I'm having a senior moment. Yes, it's Ferris and Fifi, but Ferris is the guy, Fifi is the girl. Anyway,
Okay.
we
Oh,
digress. That was baseball.
I was
Um,
confused.
you had recommended to me
Mhm.
Marple on BritBox. Now,
I love her.
I really haven't read any Agatha Christie because the classic way of writing is kind of difficult to understand for us modern day speakers. But
And for me, it's a little
um,
dry.
yeah, yeah,
it's like
yeah.
chewing on dry bread.
But I've watched enough TV and movie adaptations of Agatha Christie to get
Mhm.
the gist of how she
Yeah.
runs her mysteries. So I started watching Marple. Now,
Mhm.
one afternoon, I sat down with my work crochet and just put it on, and it was really, I won't
Yeah.
say it's fun because it's about
No,
murder,
but it's
but
enjoyable.
it's exactly the kind of mystery I love. Okay,
Yes.
you think it's this guy,
Yep.
but when you get about 10 minutes from the end, she goes, "Oh, no, no, it was
Mhm.
her."
Yeah.
And you go, "Wait, I never saw that coming. This is crazy."
No,
So,
and I just actually watched one yesterday that I was like, "Oh my god." of course it's that character. You can see it now that you look back,
Yeah.
but it's like, how? And this woman had the most amazing mind, like, to put all this stuff together because I just don't think like that, you know?
Yeah, it really is a test of the mind, and I read books like that have, Jodi Picoult is arguably my favorite author, and
Okay,
she puts a twist in the last few pages,
love
and
it.
I make it my mission to try to figure out what that twist is, and only
My
once,
husband
and I've
too.
read almost all of her books, I only once have I figured out what the twist was
Oh,
before the
wow.
last few pages, but it's crazy. I love things like that.
Mhm. I'm a big fan of mysteries and thrillers. I like to be kind of kept thinking, wondering, that kind of
Mhm.
stuff. Those are my favorite as far as genres are concerned. So like Marple, when I found her, I always go into them a little bit trepidatious just because it's like, is this gonna be really, really dumb? Or is this gonna be really, really good? There's no in between. There's no,
Yeah,
oh, we could just go along to get along kind either really stupid or it's really good. And
yeah.
the Marvel did really good. Also, the other ones that I love of Agatha Christie, and I think it's Agatha Christie. She does the Hercule Poirot.
Poirot, yeah, the
Love,
French
love,
detective.
love. The
Yeah.
most recent movies with Kenneth Branagh. Agatha
Oh, I don't
Christie
know.
is
Is
just
it that's not, the Knives Out series, is it?
no, no, those are different, but those are
No,
really good too. We'll have to talk
they're
about
really
those
good
another
too.
time.
Yes,
But,
we will.
yeah, no, it's the Murder on the Orient Express, and then there's
Right?
another one that came out after that one, but it's, like, on the Nile or something like that, and it's got Wonder
Oh, I
Woman
think
in
it's
it,
Death on the
and
Nile, isn't it?
could
Is it
be,
Death on the Nile?
could be.
I
I
don't know.
love those stories because she does the exact same thing with the Hercule
Mhm.
he says Hercule Poirot. I know I'm
That was
murdering,
very French. I love it.
just absolutely
You passed.
murdering it, but Kenneth Branagh does an amazing job. But back to Marple, they do actually change the Marple character to a different actress in season 4,
What?
and I am just now
Oh,
finishing
see that
season 3, so I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to handle this. So I'll have to let you know.
yes, well, we'll have to figure out what we're gonna watch for next week because,
Yeah,
you know, maybe we do some more Marple, maybe we do figure
I
out the
love Marple.
mystery of Fifi and Ferris in baseball, or I don't know,
Fifi and Ferris.
or why the
I
Philadelphia
feel like we
Flyers
should
play
have
so
dogs named
gritty.
Fifi and Ferris now. They're just
Tr Yeah, the only
yeah.
they're called Bacon Nation, so every dish that they serve in the ballpark has bacon in it.
Bacon Nation?
Bacon Nation.
Oh,
Oh,
Rochelle
wait,
says, "You'll be fine.
yes.
Julia McKenzie is a lovely marble, different from Geraldine McEwen." Cool. I'm really looking forward to
Thank
that
you,
then. Thank
Rochelle.
you for clarifying that. But lovely. Cool. I'm actually
Love
really
it.
looking forward to it because, um, if somebody else has seen the actress and can be like, "Hey, they're good," then it kind of takes that worry out of it for me.
Eh, there you go. There you go.
So, but yeah, I love Geraldine McEwen. She's done a really good job. My husband likes to make fun of her because she's got that really super soft little voice, and she's such a little old lady. But I enjoy her. I think she's great.
You know, I was looking at her, publicity photo, and I don't think that's the way she is in real life. I think
Probably
that's
not.
totally the character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and did they just Rochelle? Maybe you know. Did they just switch the actresses, or did something happen to Geraldine McEwen? Did she? Because
Oh, oh, there you go.
oh,
No,
okay.
oh,
Mackenzie plays it a bit more gently.
got it.
Not the spunk quality. Okay. Well, we'll give it a good try.
Yeah.
I'm willing to definitely watch her.
So I have my work cut out for me. Every
Mhm.
episode is 90 minutes, so
Oh, McEwen retired. Rochelle did say that
oh,
McEwen
gotcha.
retired. All right. Well, we'll let her. I mean, who are we to hold a girl back, right? So, but yeah, she said there are lags between production. Okay. Well, I feel like I find things um when a lot of the BBC stuff, I don't find it until it's been out for like 4 or 5 years, and then I have
Yeah.
all these seasons, and I just absolutely suck them up because the stories are so darn good. And, but then I run into it's like, okay, well, that one came out in 2022, and sometimes they have that whole year in between
Mhm.
seasons thing. Like, well, are they gonna put one out for 2023 or do I have to wait for 2024? Are they going to put one out for 2024? It's actually stressful.
Well,
So
that's when Google is my best friend, and I go on, "When is season blah coming out?" And
mhm.
a lot
Yeah,
of
because
times
there's
they
been a few
know.
of them where they kind of left it hanging and you're like, "Well, are they coming back?" I do have a BBC one though to have you ever heard or watched In the Line of Duty or Line of Duty, I
Mm-mm.
think it's called. And that one should be on BritBox if I remember correctly. It's either that or Acorn. Line of Duty is an excellent, like cop-ish, murder mystery-ish. It's just a really, really, really good one. There's
Alright.
so many of them, but Line of Duty is really, really good. One of my
Well,
favorites.
with the actors' strike and the writers' strike, we may be watching a lot of BritBox streaming. So,
Oh, okay. All right. So we've got a little bit more insight on the Marvel. She said she got BritBox. It's worth watching the Miss Marple series with
oh,
Joan
yeah.
Hickson because they are truer to the novels. The new Marvel revises, creatively updates some stories. Well, I've not read the stories, so this is my first introduction to the Marvel character. I always thought that I wouldn't like the show because I was like, "Oh, it's so old-fashioned," but I'm finding that I love that actual aspect of it. So,
I like the
I'll have
period drama.
yeah, I'll have to look it up. Thanks for that, heads up on that. So, alrighty. We've been chitty-chatting for like 45 minutes. So, do you have anything that you would like to add?
I don't think so. I just wish everybody happy crocheting and
Mhm.
spend some quality time with your perfect hook.
Absolutely. And hopefully, if it's hot where you are, you have air conditioning and
Mhm.
no humidity,
Yeah.
which is
Well,
not me. I
not
have air
here.
conditioning and lots of humidity.
Yeah.
So, regardless, enjoy your yarn.
Yay.
Yay, yarn. Okay, well, with that, everybody, once again, make sure that if you like the There's No Crying in Crochet podcast, that you follow both Debbie and I on YouTube, Busy Crochet and Madam Stitch, so that you can keep up with the information that we put out as far as tutorials, etc. As well as every Friday, we are here, 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern, and it's a different subject every week and a different mystery show every week. So I hope you join us, and that'll be it. We're going to say goodbye.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a great have a great day.